job or left the ignorant job.
My name is Frank Idemudia Alapa. That's my name. Talking sports, my game. And I am the greatest. I love listening to Elegbete TV radio for undiluted, unadulterated. It's probably replicated, but still not yet duplicated. It's sports only on Elegbete TV radio. I seriously love listening to it.
Richard Andy. Yeah,
what's up, people? My name is Timmy Dakolo, and you are listening to Elegbete TV radio. Stay tuned.
Mesdemoiselles, mesdames et messieurs, je vous dis bonsoir. Je m'appelle Fomon Demot et ce soir je suis avec le BTS.
My morning coffee is good to go.
Elegbete TV radio, redefining broadcasting. Listen, you are listening to Elegbete TV radio.
I don't want to be. I don't want to be in the NFF whereby I start working under somebody that does not even understand exactly what is supposed to be done. I told a colleague of mine when he told me he was going into the board of the NFF, and I asked him, said, what do you want to go and do there? And he says, no, when you go in there, from there you start making changes. I said, no, you will not be able to do that. Sure. Today, everything football in Nigeria has been overtaken by politics. Sure, okay. Politicians are the ones ruling our game again. And I almost cry when I see a football event on TV because I've been reduced to watching football events in Nigeria on TV, because nobody would even invite anybody who has played before to come to a football event in Nigeria. So we watch on TV. So when I watch on TV, I see politicians everywhere. Meanwhile, when you watch the international events, the football events, you see more footballers even on stage talking and doing presenting. We don't have the opportunity that we have so many footballers that can actually handle themselves publicly. So that's one I have to take into consideration. But having said all of that, I blame we footballers. Thank you. I blame the journalists. So many things, because I believe with our voice now. Like I talk, I don't talk the one way paying you small now. I don't finish you small, but not true. Okay. If I am going to blame some of my colleagues, or even me as I'm sitting down here, why am I blaming our footballers? Because we were actually the ones that handed this opportunity to this politician. True. Yes. Aided by the reporters. Because some of the reporters will write exactly what these politicians will tell them without telling them the truth.
But that's the work of a journalist.
No, it's not.
If you tell me something, I write it, then I come to the other side and ask what is the side of the truth.
Wait. I mean, there are things that I will say. Today, we have one of the coaches in our national team. Is the only one I have seen on camera carrying money who was giving money, and it's still in our national team. For what reason? What would the other people outside start saying that you are bringing somebody like that back to our national team? What does it tell me? It tells me that, okay, yes, we've accepted it. It is done in Nigeria. Yeah? Yes, that is. Then our national team, when you see our national team, I say, now before, today now only if you pay, even if they don't do it, but that stigma is there already. But because that person is there, I don't want to victimize. No, but facts are somebody. Facts are facts. Exactly. We can't argue against,
TV radio, we dare to lead. This is radio like you never heard before. Elegbete TV radio, the pathfinder for radio. Let's go. This This is radio like you never heard before. Elegbete TV Radio, the best in entertainment and sport.
Right, good morning and welcome to the Sports Buffet on Elevator TV Radio. They say sometimes when people are dying, they need someone to kiss them goodbye. Some other times when you have a baby, after cleaning them up, you kiss them welcome to life. But then there are some kisses that are described as kiss of death. And then there are some kisses that are described as kiss of betrayal, Judas Iscariot to Jesus Christ. And then there are French kiss. And then there is the ultimate kiss, the Spanish kiss. How do you explain? So my children asked me, Daddy, why were you sacked from Prila FM? I said, I did a show on YouTube called Sports as the Art, and then they fired me. Blah. But see my contract, that's why I have a copy of my contract. It's my contract, it doesn't breach it. But that's what Luis Rubiales, whatever his name is, his children were asking, Daddy, why did they fire you? Why did you leave that lucrative job of the federation's president? He said, oh, it's a long thing. Actually, um, in one moment of winning the World Cup, after I worked very hard to put a team together, get the right coach to coach the team, I created a Sodom and Gomorrah where coach can grab breast, where me too, I decided to take a part of it. I've been eyeing this girl for a very long time. I went there, kissed her very deep, and squeeze her, hug her tight, and I got fired. They will not kiss the kiss that will get us fired. Oh. Uh, That's all I can say for now. We will not go and do that kiss that will get us fired because I do not understand. There are so many reasons why somebody can get fired. Okay, why somebody can lose their job. You're not consistent, you're not productive, you're not functioning, and probably the company is losing money, they are downsizing, there's inflation, there's so many reasons. But you lose your job because of kissing. Think about it for a minute, because that's a lot of Luis Rubiales right now, the FA president, which means they will not have to bring his vice, or the entire board might have to go, and then a new system will come in. But then again, I look at Spain and I say to myself, how does success bring so much sorrow? You win the World Cup, and you have more crisis than Nigeria that got knocked out in the round of 16. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. It's strange anyway, but hey, some people will argue that maybe if it was in Nigeria, we will not even be able to ask the FA president to go. That's another school of thought, and they might be correct because in this part of the world, things just happen strangely. But I can bet my life that there is no FA president that will be bold enough, like really, really bold enough to go and be kissed anybody in the mouth and hugging them that long. I mean, we won a lot of Nations Cup. You can tell that that's not possible. So this morning, you know how the Friday show is. Friday is not really about me, my presenting, or my ability to analyze. It's about you guys, the fans out there, asking questions across sports, life, general, myself, anything. And also, you could bring your own personal question and let us talk about it. Come on, it's a community. It's a space for us to relate, get to know each other, talk about the issues, personal issues, outstanding issues, sporting issues, and all. But then the sporting world was hit by the news that a club in Saudi Arabia wants to sign Mo Salah. There's nothing wrong. I've been saying that Mo Salah will eventually go to Saudi Arabia. I mean, the name alone tells you that that guy is headed for Saudi Arabia and they will do anything to have it. So I don't have a problem for it. But the kind of money that they are willing to pay And I'm hearing Liverpool saying they don't want. Some Liverpool fans were even calling in this morning on TalkSport and saying, "Oh, we don't have to sell him. We don't need the money." Who tell us I don't need the money? Now we're not beside players. You need the money, and the truth is, Mo Salah have won you everything he can afford to win you. There is nothing Mo Salah is going to win you again. Liverpool is not going to this season. So some school of argument is that if they sell Mo Salah, they will go on relegation. No, Liverpool will not be relegated. But Liverpool would also, with Mo Salah, would not win the league title. So what's really the need? 170 million, if I'm not mistaken, or 150 million is what the club is willing to pay. First off, it takes Liverpool away from any issue with financial fair play. Mo Salah can go. And don't forget that Mo Salah can get injured next game against Newcastle. And he's out for the season. Just like Arsenal signed Julian Timbers, and we're all excited because he won the man of the match in the Community Shield. 30 minutes into his first league game, and he's out injured. The world did not come to an end. I'm just giving you examples. So you have a chance to make that much money. This is the best chance. You will not have this chance again to make that much money. And you're telling me that you don't want to sell him, you want to keep him. Well, let's deal with the news segment, and then I'll come back and deal with all your questions, or your askings, all your opinions, your views, and the rest. Talk about news, talk about transfer, speculations, and the rest. It's remaining a week now to the end of the window. Less than a week, actually. Less than a week. Okay, but let's just put it at 7 days. Yes, a week, okay, because it's 1st of September. So let's keep our fingers crossed and see how it goes. Spain's Kiss Gate, FA President Luis Rubiales is now set to resign as he's handed a quit or be banned threat by government, and it could go as early as today. Okay, that's the headlines. Let's see what the story had to say. Luis Rubiales, the Spanish FA president, the Spanish FA president, controversial president, that used to be my name anyway, is reportedly considering resigning from his position after coming under mounting pressure in the wake of his behavior at the World Cup final. Rubiales hit the headlines on Sunday following Spain's 1-0 triumph over England as he kissed Spanish player Jenni Hermoso on the mouth and also appeared to grab his crotch around Spain's queen and Jesus Christ. And a 16-year-old daughter, Princess Sofia, in case you don't know, was the lady who was wearing all red. Is it all red or red or pink, whatever? But that colorful lady is the princess of the queen of Spain, and then the 16-year-old daughter was the princess. He was widely condemned for his behavior, and despite initially branding his detractors as idiots, eventually apologized for committing an act that Hermoso said she didn't like. Okay, let's move away from Spain. Let's go to Arsenal. Arsenal are not doing banjo sales. They are in the auction business. People said that Nicolas Pepe will stay as backup for Bukayo Saka. Well, Mikel Arteta have a different idea. But there's a player in that list of 9 players that they want to sell that I'm wondering why. Gabriel Magalhaes, as an Arsenal fan, please, do you think that Arsenal should sell Gabriel Magalhaes? I just thought that, maybe Mikel Arteta is victimizing him for the title, the failure to win the title after Saliba got injured. He just felt like this guy didn't hold it together. But hey, what do I know? Arsenal are prepared to sell 9 players to raise funds for Mikel Arteta with £72 million flop, an academy starlet valued at £40 million. That's for Larry Balogun, I guess. And a regular in defense last season or potentially on their way out. If you don't know that regular, then you don't follow Arsenal. That's Gabriel Magalhaes, the Brazilian player. Yeah, they bought him for cheap under Unai Emery. But how are they trying to sell him? Yeah, I mean, he's got his downside. He's got his rash tackles, but I thought that his game is getting better. Summer fire sale is underway at the Emirates Stadium as Arsenal look to raise £100 million by trimming as many as 9 players from Mikel Arteta's squad. The Gunners have sought to strengthen this summer, having put Manchester City close in the last season's Premier League title race. They have splashed out £105 million on Declan Rice, £65 million wasted on Kai Havertz, unless they prove me wrong, £36.5 million on Julian Timbers, who's now injured, in the hope they can end a 2-decade wait for the title. Well, let's hope that they go through. But Arsenal fans, are you okay with Julian Timbers leaving? I don't know, but I'm just asking. Well, a couple of days ago, I tweeted that Everton used to be a team that have the never say that attitude of players like Wayne Rooney, Duncan Ferguson, Andres Limpa, a host of other players, Yakuba Ayegbeni, Joseph Yobo, Ibrahim Bakayoko, who cried off the field because of racism, in case you guys have forgotten the history of that club. But today, they look a shadow of themselves. Yes, they don't win the Premier League, but they won the 1995 FA Cup. Let's not forget about that one against Manchester United in the finals. And that same season, another team wearing blue, Blackburn Rovers won the Premier League for the very, magical moment that Alan Shearer would always brag about of winning the Premier League title. Now, Everton looks like a very, very different team. They're desolate, they're discombobulated, they're distraught. They are just not in the picture when it comes to teams that you want to reckon with. Even if you are a bet addict, I don't think that there is anybody who will put a bet on Everton to win any game, even if they're playing against FC Taraba. That's how bad Everton have become. Okay? To see Everton as a super story club in such a sorry mess is just deeply sad. That's what one fan had to say. This squad is worse than last season's, and they almost went down last season. So, what are we expecting this season? What's a prediction for Everton Football Club this season? One side of the Goodison Park, the Merseyside red and the Goodison Park blue, will no longer have that derby the way it is. And if they continue like that, it might take some time. Unless some magical money spenders come again and buy the club and invest in January. I mean, it happened with Newcastle. Newcastle were on relegation when Amanda Staveley and the Ruben brothers. I don't know if you've watched the Newcastle All or Nothing. It's a four-part series. 2 parts already out. I think the third part will come out today. I don't know if it is already available for Nigerian Prime, but I'm watching the global. I have the global Prime, so it's a different one. The things that you have access to with the global Prime, you don't have it on the Nigerian one. But hey, when it comes out, it's good to watch because the storytelling is beautiful. I love the storytelling. Like I always say, that my dream is to be able to do a lot of storytellings in the future when I have the funding and the equipment and the staff. But watching these things is like going to school. Just learn and try to understand. Every time I sit in the press box at Goodison Park, my eye is drawn across the field to a hoarding at the front of the lower Bollocks Road stand. It was where the late, great Ray Watkins came and perched during a break in play when QPR played Everton in November 1993. Report from the day say he actually signed an autograph before taking a corner. I don't remember that, but I do recall him sitting and talking to the supporters as my father and I were there a few rows back. That's the cry, the lamentations of an Everton fan looking back like, oh, this club used to have that energy, that verve, that zest, that, guile, that Sabinos. But right now, they are a shadow of themselves. You're not the girl I used to know. That's what they're singing. You're not the club I used to know. Well, there's a big question mark on another blue club. This time, they said London is blue, but they're singing the wrong blues song this time around because Chelsea are no longer the Chelsea of the Roman army. So the question is, can Pochettino Pops, they call them Pops now, they used to be Lions. It used to be, like the crest, the Lions, but right now they are Poppies, okay? Can they make their mark? Chelsea have spent big, but they've bought young trouble. They bought young players and all that. Trouble is, these kids have to start and they have to play regularly. There was a freshness and energy in Chelsea camp coming into the new season following their summer influx of youthful arrival. At the same time, though, there was also a caution behind the scenes and intrigue and apprehension about exactly what is possible this season. That's the thing about young players who this version of Chelsea are boldly putting their faith in. Would it happen? Would it not happen? I don't know. But then there's an experienced player who is still on contract with Chelsea, but this is what Mauricio Pochettino have got to say about him. Mauricio Pochettino insists it is not his responsibility, none of my business, to solve Romelu Lukaku's plight at Chelsea, but doesn't rule out a return for the Belgian if the player and the club finds a solution. So what he's saying is this problem existed before I showed up. If the club and the player can find a resolution to it, we might have to adjust to his system and find a way to integrate him in. But if they don't, it's none of my business. They should deal with that thing. I like to mind my business. And they're talking about minding their business. Some club is really minding their business. As Manchester City, whom I have predicted will not win the league title this season, I've gone out to say, you know what? Idafe, you're stupid for betting against us and you will regret it. Manchester City have confirmed the signing of £55 million arrival of Belgian winger Jeremy Doku from Rennes. Okay, with the rapid young star recommended by injured star Kevin De Bruyne to replace Riyad Mahrez. Wow, that's a nice one. That's a different dimension to the conversation. Doku, who has 14 caps, is recommended by compatriot Kevin De Bruyne, who is injured and will inject pace into a City team that Guardiola believed needed additional dynamism. That's Pep Guardiola for you anyway. Every season, he changes things. I talk about changing things. One player that was signed into Arsenal and everybody was excited about him, but his injury problem have made it almost impossible for anybody to really have faith, strong faith, and hope in him is Kieran Tierney. And Arsenal left back Kieran Tierney is closing in on a loan move to Real Sociedad, with the Gunners keen for the deal to be included, to include an obligation to buy. If they are not going to buy him because Arsenal does not want him back, that's what it means. The 26-year-old has not featured in either of the Gunners Premier League games so far this season and would likely play a limited role if he did stay at the Emirates. Well, let's go to Monaco and tell you what kind of business Monaco wants to do with Arsenal. Monaco are closing in on a £40 million swing for Arsenal striker Folarin Balogun. As this time, the USA international is only considering a move to the French side, as he believes that French league was fertile for him last season. He needs to go again and see if he can do some magic. Well, let's take a fast detour and go to Formula One and say one man who for 7 years was ruling the roast and dominating, all of a sudden went from the original solid man to a very, very laborious each person. So we're wondering whether it's time for him to retire or he can continue up to the ripe old age of 42. Not seeing a Formula One driver at that age anyway. Lewis Hamilton, he says he could still be going on at 42. Hint his new Mercedes deal could run until 2026, as he argues his best chance of challenging Max Verstappen will be after the rule change comes into play. If not, he will continue to be second fiddle to him. Lewis Hamilton has hinted that he supposedly agreed Mercedes contract contains an option allowing him to stay in F1 to the end of the 2026 season, close to his 42nd birthday. Well, let's leave Formula One and go to the talk of the town, the talk of the moment, the one that everybody's talking about. Liverpool insists Mohamed Salah is not for sale. It's not for Shally. It's not for Shally. But with good money, they can decide to sell. Despite continued strong interest for Al Ittihad, with Saudi Pro League champions prepared to go all out to land the Egyptian star. Al Ittihad viewed the 31-year-old forward as a potential crown in the jewel ahead of their preparation for the Club World Club this winter, which is held in Saudi Arabia. Okay, Saudi Arabia are really preparing something. Last time out, a Saudi Arabian club by the name Al Hilal with Jude Gallo there went all the way to the finals and lost to Real Madrid. This time around, they will be playing Man City somewhere in the finals, definitely. Pep Guardiola wants to win it. Saudi Arabian people also wants to win it and say they are one of a few outside of Europe club that have managed to win the World Club Championship since its inception, and the Saudi Arabians are investing seriously. But let's see how it goes as the time goes. Manchester City are set to make a second bid for Matheus Nunes after seeing opening for the £7 million offer rejected, but are prepared to pull out of a move if Wolves' asking price is deemed too high. Kevin De Bruyne's serious injury, coupled with departure of Ike Gundogan to Barcelona this summer, has left the treble winners in need of another option in the middle of the pack. What of Kevin? Yes, Kevin Dada. I thought they bought one guy from Leeds United that Arsenal was trying to buy and they bought the player. Where is he? Well, this decision by Man City again to block any sales to Arsenal. Well, I thought last season they looked at Arsenal and said, no, they are not good enough. They sold us Alexander Zinchenko. They sold us Gabriel Jesus. But when we pursue them so close, we almost made them lose the title. They changed their sales policy. Well, it's good anyway. I will do the same thing. I'm not going to be here beefing them or feeling sad about it. It's just business. It is what it is, as we like to say. But let's move away from the news segment now and go to the transfer gist, the rumors around transfer. Who is trying to get who? Where are they going? Crystal Palace are planning a gamble on Belgian free agent Eden Hazard by handing the ex-Chelsea and Real Madrid forward 32 a one-year deal at Selhurst Park despite his injury problems and his fat belly. Okay, Crystal Palace. Well, they have an old man in that team. I'm sure he will respect the old man. But let's not forget that Carlo Ancelotti was also, elderly, not old, but elderly. Brentford have put on £80 million price tag on England striker Ivan Toney, 27, with Arsenal and Tottenham interested in signing the player in January once he has served his 8-month ban from breaching gambling rules. I would like him to go to Arsenal, but 80 million, well, today's market price makes it almost impossible for anybody to argue against anything. Arsenal are close to reaching an agreement with Real Sociedad. I told you that already before. The Gunners have agreed a fee of 45 million euros, which is 38 million pounds plus add-ons with Monaco for a sale of 22-year-old United States striker Folarin Balogun. He went from being a Nigerian to being an English striker, now to be a United States striker, all in the space of 2 or 2.5 seasons. Wow. So this life just be sharp. Manchester United are close to agreeing a one-year contract with Johnny Evans, 35, in a move that could raise fresh doubt over the future of fellow centre-back Harry Maguire, 30, at Old Trafford. 35-year-old retired, gone, dead and buried player comes in, and Harry Maguire, oh Jesus Christ, Harry Maguire, you are done for. I've seen many things in football, but I've not seen this one. Yeah, I waka many village everywhere in Africa. This one, I've not seen this one before. And unnamed Albania side are interested in signing Manchester United striker Mason Greenwood. That's where the 21-year career would go to an end. Yeah, that's where it gets to an end. After the club and player reached a mutual decision for him to leave Old Trafford after an internal investigation. Okay, what jurisdiction they have to do that investigation, I still don't know, but let's leave it like that. It's a private business. Let's leave it like that. Tottenham are at loggerheads with Nottingham Forest over the fee to sign Brennan Johnson, with the East Midland club unwilling to let the 22-year-old waste forward leave for anything less than 40 million. Tottenham Hotspur, you take money from selling of Harry Kane, please go and pay that money. You cannot be collecting money and not be willing to pay. That's it. It's not fair. Chelsea are also interested in signing Johnson, and the player is very highly thought of at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea, you're signing too many young players. It's about time you bring in some of the experienced players as well. At this rate, Lukaku definitely will come back to the team. Yes, I'm not saying that the young players at Chelsea are bad. They are good, but they need leaders. They need people to guide them. And when young players are not guided, the problem is that at the end of the day, they stop winning and they'll create a culture of struggling and not winning. And they will not even remember that this club have a history of winning serially. That might just be a problem. Again, the blame will go to Mauricio Pochettino. I keep saying why Mauricio Pochettino chose Chelsea at this time. I still can't get it. And I don't think it looks like he's involved in the selection of players that Chelsea have signed. But let's keep our fingers crossed. It might just work magic. But even the experienced player that is there, Thiago Silva, look like it's aging now. Come on. Shouldn't be playing every game on a regular basis. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a bloody guy who sits in the studio in front of a microphone, Instagram camera, and YouTube camera and talk. So those guys who are responsible for doing the business, they will do what they know how to do best. Aston Villa are interested in Barcelona's Moroccan winger Abdel Ezelaoui, okay, but face competition from Bayer Leverkusen for the 21-year-old. I can't remember seeing this guy play for Barcelona anyway. Nottingham Forest are set to sign Chelsea 19-year-old Brazil midfielder Audrey Santos on loan until the end of the season. Fulham have made an inquiry about signing England centre-back Eric Dyer, 29, from Tottenham after he was omitted from Spurs boss Ange Postecoglou's club squad for the first two Premier League games of the season. Man is surplus to requirement. Nino Brand, your service are no longer required on the face of the earth. Okay, the Cottagers are also keen on Atlanta's 32-year-old Colombia forward Dusan Zapata after the Serbian striker Alexander Mitrovic, 28, still the move to Al Hilal and on his debut score a trademark header to give his team a win. Manchester City are set to make a second bid. I told you that already, but City are prepared to walk away, like I said before, if the deal does not suit their own financial alignment. Barcelona will sign João Cancelo on a season-long loan from Manchester City in the next few days, but there will be an option to purchase the 29-year-old Portuguese defender included in the deal. In other words, Man City, Pep Guardiola and Man City have made up their mind. There's no way this guy is coming back. This is not the Bayern deal. He must to sign. They must to sign him. Everton have opened discussion with Udinese over a move for Portuguese striker Beto, 25, but the Serie A club will not sell him unless his £30 million release clause are met. Everton, you have the money, you can do something. Let's go to Manchester United and Sofian Amrabat. Moroccan midfielder Sofian Amrabat, 27, was left out of Fiorentina's squad for their Europa Conference League tie, with Rapid Vienna having had his head turned by interest from Manchester United and Liverpool. Where does he go? I don't know, but the transfer window will tell. Bayern Munich's interest in Fulham's Netherlands defender Kenny Tate, 27, has led to the Cottagers looking at Izzy Akman's 23-year-old Japan fullback Yukinari Sugawara as a replacement. Sheffield United are in talks with French club Troyes over a deal for Guinea-Bissau winger Mama Balde. Okay, he's 27 years of age. That's according to L'Equipe. Okay, L'Equipe, as some people call it, I call them L'Equipe. Okay, the Blades are also keen to resign midfielder James McCarthy, 21, and Tommy Doyle, 20, on loan from Manchester City. With both players far down Premier League champions pecking order, they need a place to play regular football. Burnley's 20 million euros, which is 70 million pounds bid for PSV Eindhoven winger Johan Bakayoko has been rejected by the Dutch club, who have demanded more than the 20-year-old Belgian forward can be priced for. Well, let's see if Burnley will go back again and say, yes, we need him. We are willing to pay. There are some players in Arsenal that I think Burnley will need. Come and take them. Nicolas Ayas Pepe is one of them. Come and take him and take him away from us. It's a burden on us, the financial burden on Arsenal. They need the club that can take him. Well, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do well to subscribe. Help us to grow so that we will be happy to do a lot more content. Okay. Yes, thank you very much, Emmanuel Yorokiri, for reminding me. It was Kevin Phillip. I was trying to remember why is it that's Ogbologbo, that player, why is he not playing? I mean, just you sign a player, he should be playing. Well, let's look at the conversations that you guys have. It's time for you to show up now. Turn up the volume, ask your questions, drop conversation, opinions, views, and the rest. Okay, where Ada? On Instagram, it's only greetings. I'm not taking the greetings. I'm seeing your greetings, but I'm not taking it. Let's have a conversation. You guys are turning this show to a greetings. What's here happen? The Abiodun said the players is the issue. Which players is that? I don't know. Mr. Shiga said, the day Nicolas Pepe go catch you for road there. What is he gonna do? Most serious. No, let's be very honest. You think Nicolas Pepe can beat me? I don't think so. Nicolas Ogbori Legbere Pepe, weak play. But some people went to compile a highlight of the boy. And when I'm watching it, like everyone, one guy tagged me on the highlight. He was scoring goals, penalty, doing everything. So I was like, how can you say this guy is not good? I said that this is the type of highlights they compile for Mikel Arteta. And don't forget, before Arsenal go bid for her, did you not see the highlight that was trending everywhere? So this guy is the fastest player. He's a dribbler. He's a dazzler. He's this one. Oh, Chelsea go hijack. There's the story that was told back in the day. So early morning, all those people wait to stay for house will not get toilet. So somebody just shit for waterproof. Come hold them, they waka, they run, they waka, they go say they go through them. All those pocket pick, all those people like to the thief things on pan. Somebody go fling out, take, say it don't collect money. You know what he open eventually now. That's the way the Chelsea snatching of Mikel Arteta feels like. Arsenal was trying to buy shit. They say, no, I will take it. The reason I plan, the reason I must manure. Okay, Mr. Sugar say, you don't have the guy there. The guy not Sabina. Chooks 9,000. They say, by the way, what's the situation of Nicolas Pepe at Arsenal? He's up for sale. Arsenal are looking for people to buy him. There's a club in Saudi Arabia, but did not make a concrete offer. Arsenal just wants to break even because there's no way Arsenal will make profit of it. Nobody's going to buy him 75 million or so. Arsenal just want to okay, let's even get 50% of what we spent on him, 35, 37 million, and we're good. But I'm saying Arsenal should even cut his contract and let him go. I beg. This one that Arsenal has now started to do bazaar. It's not bazaar that they call it in all those church, like Catholic Church, Celestial Church, all those people that do, all those churches that do bazaar. Or they are selling Bobo now. They put 9 players on sale 1 week to the end of the transfer. Why did they put these players on sale from the beginning? I don't understand. As much as I try to support Arteta and Edu, and I think I like some of the things that they've done, I just look at the team and I say to myself, the team that won the treble have signed more players than the team that competed for only the league title last season and failed to win. I thought that Arsenal were going to be the most, because in my head I thought Arsenal need between 5 to 7 players coming in. Now they've signed 4. Okay, 4 in the sense that there is David Raya. We're not going to pretend like Arsenal didn't sign David Raya. So we'll let Matt Turner go, goalkeeper that is skill set is to save penalty. How many league matches you will get penalty? League matches in the end is shootout now, right? So all of those things really matter. Now we have Raya, we have Timber, who is out for the season, but ACL might come back now and not be the same again. ACL is hard to come back from. When Mikel Arteta had his ACL gone, he lost his speed. By the time he came back, he went from a Thierry Henry-like striker to a Fox the boss, but he managed himself very well. A lot of players who lose their ACL. Look at Vijay Bhataka started the season very well this season, even though I'm not sure that that last week. But I just think that there is a lot of players who get ACL and they can't come back. Things are falling apart. But let me look at some of the stories that you guys here have here. I am Mr. Senna. Say, I beg, make it get that. I say, right up, not me talk up. Nobody blame you. Not me talk up. Mr. Senna take right and I take that. But he started like saying, I'm me talker. That kind of thing like we talk. Get that. I don't matter if you this kind of thing that I talk. Let's go with the next one. Mr. Sugar says, say, Baba, please. So I asked this question yesterday, but you couldn't take it. Do you analysts get heads up like topic before you enter the studio, or you get to analyze it as it goes? I don't. I've never. Some people do. Okay, so when I was in ITV, ITV is a lot more organized structure. They will give you show prep. Actually, we're going to give you show prep, and we're going to talk within the lines of everything in that paper. It's up to you to read it, and then you watch the live game that is going on, and you're taking notes. Because even as you're taking notes, the presenter like Tenisa Makomi or it's great man. I work with a lot. Like that's the best place in Nigeria. The best place I ever worked was ITV. They will tell you, Edafe, this is the question we'll ask you, this is the area. And then sometimes they will even ask you, what is your strong areas? Like if you want to analyze, what's the strong areas you want to analyze? What's the team you really know a lot about? So that they don't put you in a place where you look awkward. And for me, I would say, give me any team, I'm okay. I watch the game, I'll see. But they do order. But when I was in Bella, nobody's going to give you heads up. There's no heads up, it just comes. So your presenter is asking you questions just the same way your fan, the callers are calling it. There is no show prep, there is nothing, you don't have an idea of what's coming. And when we're even doing football like that, it's even the worst one because the thing is just you gotta be prepared anyway. You gotta be prepared. Again, that's not a bad thing, that doesn't make Brilla bad. It's just like I don't think it is possible to prepare you ahead. And that's why you're an analyst, you're paid to come and analyze. Your job is also to read a lot and know. That's why when people keep asking me, what do you do to be a great analyst? And I keep telling people that you need to read. Some people will come back to my DM and say, how does reading make you a great analyst? You need to read, you need to watch, you need to listen. For me, now I listen to a lot of podcasting, a lot of radio, live radio within the space of the sports that I analyze, so that I have some, like deep inside stories and the rest. Like take for instance, if you call me to analyze the Alexander Zinchenko and Daniel Dubois fight now tomorrow night in Poland, I think I can give you a lot of in-depth analysis because I've been following that story for the past 3 weeks. For the past 3 weeks, I've been following it, and sometimes you just follow it for the sake of following. You might not have the opportunity to analyze it. I'm not a boxing expert. What I've done is after 2014 going to the World Cup, and I remember meeting Martin Tyler, and he asked me, what do you do? And I said I was a sports analyst, and the way he looked at me, I just know how embarrassing that word was. I just knew how foolish I have become. And in Brazil, I showed a lot of stupidity. I'm going to share them today, some of them today. A lot of foolish, ignorant behavior. And he said, no, you can't be a sports analyst. I said, yes, I'm a sports analyst. What do you mean sports analyst? What do you mean sports analyst? And, Alexander was a very nice man. He is a very nice man. We've become friends since 2014 to now. That's 9 years of good friendship. And he didn't sarcastically look at me, but it was a bit, you could tell that he was shocked. Like, how can you be a sports analyst? Like, you cannot be a sports analyst. You're a football analyst, you're a basketball analyst, you're a wrestling or boxing. You can't be a sports analyst. He was sure because he was looking at me like, this little boy is making a mistake that a lot of people make. And I think because he was the supervisor when we're doing commentary, he was commentator supervisor. So he monitored people. And I remember him after the Colombian game, and I think I really researched for that. I really it was my first time at the World Cup. I didn't have the luxury that a lot of other people have, like, oh, let me just show up and just show them that I am that I am. No, it was if you get this one wrong, you might not get a chance again. So I was over preparing. I could, like, my notes were high, everything. And when I finished that game, and then the next game I was going to do was a Costa Rica game, I think, yes. And he sent a camera crew like to come and cover me, do my thing, and give all those close shots, everything. And they were recording me when I was preparing. You know, you get to the stadium, the booth, like 2 hours or so. You go there in the morning anyway. You go there like 7 a.m. You resume like 7 a.m. And they were following me when I went to go and eat everything. It was embarrassing. It was stressful because I mean cameras in your face everywhere. It was tiring, and I was people were not looking at me like who's this guy? I was once guy coming from Nigeria and everybody looking at me like that. But it was later and I told me that they liked what I did with the Colombian game and they wanted to use this thing for their that time. FIFA Plus have not been built, but they were working on it. And I was like, they want to use it for their archive and they might need it, they might not need it, but they just want to have it. So he said to me that listen, you can't be a sports analyst, you have to major in one. If you're good in football, focus on football. And now you're a commentator, but you said you're an analyst. So stay as a football analyst, it will help you a lot more. And that's why I stayed in. Okay. So, but sometimes it's hard, when you work in Nigeria. I don't think there's any media house that would have boxing experts separate, wrestling experts separate, swimming expert. But it's good if we're able to get it. Remember when I started the sports lounge here, I have a Formula One expert, two of them. I have the boxing expert, two of them. I have the football people. I have the basketball people because of the knowledge that I've gotten in that space. So nobody's going to give you a heads up. You're going to come prepared and work with what's up and be ready to. The worst thing you can do on air is to say it's an honest thing, but your employers might get angry. Like they ask you a question and you say, I have no idea. Where I'm coming from. If somebody comes in this organization now and say, we ask them a question and they say, I have no idea, I think I'll respect. But where I was coming from, that's not amount to sacking. Just pack your bags and begin to go and meet accounts to clear your balance so that they can give you your money and you go because you are paid to know. You are supposed to know. You cannot say I don't know. I don't know. It's like suicide. As I said, it said they have wasted so much time disposing with very players. Okay, that how you doing? It's been a while. Oh, come on, you've been. I understand. Iwalewa Yusuf. Is this Femi's family? Walewa Art Gallery is the place where we started this business, this company, this whole dream. It all started at Iwalewa Art Gallery. That's where we were shooting sports as they all got fired, and then we went to Kano, and the rest, as I say, is history. So if you're related to Femi Williams, please say me well to him. Pretty much soon, you guys have moved to Lekki now. Pretty much soon would drop by the art gallery. I hear it's a 3-story building. I really want to come there. I'm looking for one Nigerian player that probably I would do an interview. I'll bring him to that place and we will do some fine interviews. I just don't want to come there alone. So tell Femi Williams that I say hi if you are part of the Walewa Art Gallery. Well, let's see. Oduni Rabilako says Tierney leaving after Timber and Caliber injury for a long spell is not nice. But Tierney is always injured as well. They better bring in a replacement. I think they would. Oduni Rabilako wanted to say, and now that Olari is leaving, we need to bring in an attacker. Those would have been a good fit, but Darling Arsenal no look in direction. And the way it is, Arsenal no look back to this anymore because I hear that the Saudis have come and said it's not a hard trick yesterday against Ludogorets and I'm hearing it going to Saudi Arabia. The salary is very big. The Saudis are here to stay. They're serious. They're not joking. Oh. The Saudis are not joking at all. Vuvuzela FC, I see you on Instagram. Oduni Remilaka, I said the man over Dusha, he no get wife for house. When no be your daughter, you not kiss your daughter like that. You can't kiss your grown-up daughter like that. That's even worse. That's like ridiculous. Okay, your great man Semingo Bros from Turi. Get out of here. Yes. Look what you do. I don't remember because the Gabriel should still unless the 100 million Saudi won't drop. Okay, so now 100 million it's okay for it to be right. Wow. Yeah, I don't know, but I think it should stay one more season. A lot of what you say, Arsenal are not involved in bazaar for the players. What do auction to raise money by players? Arsenal is gradually going out of my pick to win the title. I locked them down as my team to win the title, but with the way they're going, let's see. When the transfer window closes, I will now give my official a game prediction and change it. But I don't think City will. I don't. Not because City is not good, though. Not because Pep is not good. Though. Quote me, don't get me wrong. I think first off, Newcastle are set up to win the title in the next 5 seasons. They're going to try to win the league title. That's one. But for Man City, the Illuminati of the Premier League will not want somebody to win the fourth straight Premier League title. I'm sorry, that's what my gut feeling is telling me. Gut feeling is ever wrong. I'm going to stick to it. What is wrong with me getting it wrong one time? Okay, man, I say Arsenal Bobo for still. Arsenal doing a Chelsea late in the transfer market. It not go too good for them, especially selling Gabriel, whatever, Gabriel Magalhaes, he's from Canada, whatever. But then Rebecca say, I beg you, how is Everton ticket price so equivalent, expensive in the EPL? Well, I don't know, but when you have supply and demand, it's the rule of supply and demand. When you have passionate fans who will go crazy, don't forget that Yoruba people learned Owambe from English, from the British. So naturally, British people also don't forget that the Premier League is not aired on live TV. So they are used to a culture of going to go watch games. And God is saying, you can't sit at home when Liverpool fans are celebrating and all that. So you have to go to the stadium. And it is very, very rare to see Liverpool play home and Everton play home. Liverpool is playing away, Everton is playing home. That's how it always is. So that weekend where you are home, you just can't sit. Man, in London, there's a lot of teams. In that Liverpool area, there's two major teams, and that's Liverpool and Everton. So you have to go to the stadium. Knowing fully where that is, you take advantage of that. Just like Arsenal back in the day, Arsenal used to have like the most expensive ticket, even though they don't want Champions League. So that's one of those things. Okay, man, I say London will always be blue until the rest London team says otherwise. Bros, Lukaku, first grade Bobo be that to make Arsenal up by no Arsenal. The funny thing is, if Arsenal asked to buy Lukaku, right, I wouldn't go against it because it does, you know, I would take Lukaku over Eddie Nketiah, for instance. Let's be honest. I would take Lukaku over Eddie Nketiah. And I think that the way Arsenal plays is just that Arsenal's system of play would make Lukaku a liability to Arsenal because everybody is mobile in the Arsenal team. Everybody is moving. It's a system that is a low budget version of what Pep Guardiola does at Barcelona and Man City. So everybody's moving, and you want to have your team all moving at the same time. But when you have Lukaku, Lukaku will become a standing pantry, and that might just affect the flow of the team. Okay. Mr. Sugar once says, having lived in the UK for a while now, I really think that working in Nigeria is unnecessarily demanding. Yes, imagine being a sports analyst rather than a football analyst. Now, I think it's a systemic thing, yeah, because the way we work here, and I remember, let me give you a very good example. So I did freelance from 2004 to 2012. When I signed my contract, I made sure that I had to like insert certain clauses because at this time now I was used to contracts. I came from football. I've never done a 9 to 5. I'm not a 9 to 5 person. So when I signed that contract, I made it clear the first 6 months, it was a 6 months rolling contract. So April to October, October to April, like that again. So I remember first 6 months it was okay, it was a trial project. So it was an experimental project. The first time I was doing Pigeon English and all that. And so we're doing morning and evening. I was doing morning and evening, and that was when we were transitioning to get the 18 in. And I was midwifing that one alongside the Joe and the rest of them, Buffy Jemba, Ayo Tunde Onobolu, the Casey Brand, the Kukoroko Ikakaraka. All of these guys were just Sean Amadi, we're just bringing them in to get the real team. Ike Double Double, Sexy Joe eventually, who came in for audition. She was going, and I had to let's give this guy a chance to speak English so she can't do English, and the rest of the sisters. One of the things that I did when we got the second was like, okay, I'm doing morning only. I can't work more than 4 hours. I have a child. I've had a baby at the time, my son, and I know that I'm not going to commit. I've always said before I got married, even that I was going to raise my children. I was going to be around unless death come into play. I was going to be around in their life. I didn't have that kind of lifestyle. So I want to have it for my children. I was going to be around in their life. I was going to watch them wake up in the morning. I was going to see them go back to school. or probably I was going to be there when they are coming back from school with my hands spread wide to welcome them. So my decisions were mostly based on what is good for my children. Not everybody makes that kind of decision because listen, in that same place where I go to work by, I resume by 5:30 a.m. or 5 a.m. sometimes. I pretty much go to work very early, and by 10:30 I've closed. Latest 11 o'clock, I'm out of the building. People stay there every single day. Kiss me there, for instance. I mean, I'm not anybody as committed as kiss me there. Kiss me there, I got wedded. Ay, Jesus Christ. With the son of Nigeria, Sha. Kiss me there, got wedded, and he's still staying in the office. His new wife is staying at home. You know, it's crazy. You know, some people say they could do, they just have to stay in the office. And when you say stay in the office, it's very tight from VI, it's very tight place, dealing with the whole sort of human order, let me not say body order and the rest of it. But hey, it is what it is, you know. And sometimes you have to adapt to the environment that you find yourself. But again, you can still find yourself in that environment and still insist on what you want. And people will hate you for it. People will not like you because what it means is like they feel like you are getting more instead of them to turn and face the organization that they are working for and demand exactly for themselves. They'll not start hating. That's what I had to deal with over a long period of time. But eventually, you know, you have to have this attitude, this, you know, selfish. Be selfish sometimes. I feel, you know, it's me first. You have to put yourself first before any other thing. And I think it's that mentality that got me through it. But I understand what you're saying, Mr. Sugar. It's one of those things that sometimes you just laugh. When you not think back, I think practically today I work the way I want to work. I choose to stay in this office from morning to night. Some days I just do my show, I get out, whatever happens. Production people are doing their thing. Well, you know, I don't get involved. I go home, watch film, watch TV. The only thing is I plan a lot. I plan a lot. Like, okay, where's the next money going to come from? What's the next project that we need to do? You know, that's the difference. But like you said, a lot of people still don't know to today, even in Nigeria, that being a sports analyst is like over demanding. Because what you want to do is you want to research about football, which will take like it could take the whole day. And then you want to research about boxing, and then you want to research about, especially maybe during the Olympics. Let's say Olympics is going on. If you look at Sky Sports, even during the Olympics, and they are talking about the British team, the person who's talking about the football team, that is, if they have a football team in the Olympics, British doesn't really provide a football team. Once they did, and they didn't do well. But if people talk about football, we talk about football. They go on a break. Those people will leave the studio. Those who want to talk about the equestrian team, the cycling team, the tennis team, the boxing team, different people will come in and they talk from a position of expertise. But here, in the same breath that you're talking about football, yes, again, even in look carefully. The guys who talk about Premier League are different from the guys who talk about the Bundesliga if they want to. Now that they have a Hurricane there, the guy that they will call a Bundesliga expert on the screen and they will talk about Bundesliga. And then if you want to talk about the Serie A too, they'll call an expert over there. That's the way it is. And again, another thing I noticed with European media, for the times I had to go there or do training or the ones in the US, is that a 15-minute show can have 4 to 5 producers or 6. Here, you are presenter, analyst, reporter, producer, you're queuing in your insert, you're doing everything. It's crazy. One day, we will be better. One day, that's what I think. One day will be better. The system will be good enough. This is not the one to blame anybody. There is really no room to blame anybody. It's just how the system is. You know, that's just the way I would put it. Okay, nothing more. There's no really, you can't blame anybody on this one. Okay, not everything requires blaming people. The lot of say, make I dey listen, or I know if you contribute again. I understand. Now you they always contribute the most because you go back and watch, and every point you just comment. I read all your comments. You notice I like them when I'm done. When I'm done reading all of them. Oduni Remuleka say, and why is Nuno Espirito Santo saying he doesn't want Benzema? Not be play with that. Yorokiri Emmanuel say Kevin Philip don't talk Bobo to true with that. Yorokiri Emmanuel say, bro, so no my YouTube. everybody they good for YouTube. Yes, when they do highlights, everybody is a superstar on highlights. That's one of the things you must understand. You come and say, don't worry, bros, Modric will come good. We're waiting. Even though for now, if they forget, say, a football, if they play, if they run like who they do 100-meter dash. I thought you said you come good. I'm not sure say you trust that to come good. Okay, we got 6 minutes to the end of the show. If you drop a comment, please drop a comment now. Let's hear what you got to say. Choose about Justice says, do you think Chelsea selling Hall is a good choice? The thing is, Hall does not have a chance to play in this team. That's just the truth. And the player, at some point, young players get restive. And because there's a lot of young players, they might not, you know, that one bad apple spoils the bunch. What he's doing, his behavior might not influence other people. So it's better to let him go than keep him. And then sometimes too, it's not just out of acrimonious circumstances, not of out of anger. It is, oh, we think that this guy would have a better chance to develop, to grow if he goes than if he stays. And that's the kind of decision that happens. You look at myself, bros, what will be your take concerning Ancelotti when he say Bellingham will replace Benzema and also Mbappe rumored signing a new deal? So I don't think that Jude Bellingham is Benzema's replacement. There's a space for him, but what they have done is they've created a system that allows him to arrive at the balls like Frank Lampard. So that's the thing that I see there. For Mbappe, maybe this is maybe. I don't know what the details. We need to see the details of the contract. I think at the end of the day, the French government have prevailed on him again secretly and told him that you have to be here when we're hosting the Olympics. But beyond that, I think there's going to be a clause that is favorable to Madrid signing him when Madrid wants to sign him next summer. And the idea that, oh, this massive investment that we've put in you, we cannot just watch you go for free. We need to get something. Even if it's 100 million or 150 million, we need to get something. And see, the thing about fighting is poor people fighting is to kill each other. Rich people fighting is actually to disagree, to agree. If you look at it all over the world, that's why you see the same politicians that we fight because of. I'm not part of it. I've never fought for politicians anyway. But that the masses fight because of, they will be marrying each other's children. If they hate each other that much, I don't think they will be marrying each other, right? So it's one of those things. So I think the whole fight have come to a place where rich Mbappe versus rich Al Khalifa must sit down and say, okay, let's talk about this thing and find a solution that does not make us enemies after now. And there's a common ground for everybody, some settlement. Guy, you've made money from us. Let's be very honest. What is wrong if we make money from you? You know, it's not Austin or Jacobo, I go kill you, you go die today. Not that kind of, it's not that kind of fight. This is rich men sitting over a table. You jump on a private jet and fly, and inside that private jet, they are trashing at issues, your lawyers, my people, you know, they're putting the laws, the conversation on the ground, and then decisions are reached. So I think if Mbappe sign an extension, he could still play one more season or even two and then decide to move. He's young. It's not like, oh, not old, though. If I don't play Madrid, I'm going to die. He's still got 1 or 2 seasons. Definitely, it's looking like Barcelona are not in the title race in Spain unless miracle happens. So Real Madrid can stroll to the title, still lose out on winning the Champions League, and then prepare a team that would, you know, have Mbappe in it. Mbappe will just be the crown on it. They're still building the team, completing it. Don't forget that next season now, people like Luka Modric and Toni Kroos might have to leave, and then they will still look for some replacements again to fuse the team up. And then at that time, Mbappe cannot come and be part of it. I think I like the fact that he's signing a new contract. Let's be very honest. I also love the fact that he stood his ground and he made the club understood that, look, I have a contract and we must respect the contract. If you don't want to respect the contract, you're going to lose it. So I'm not training, I'm not doing preseason. You're still paying me my money. Who they suffer? No, they suffer. So I like the fact that this is clear. It's like the Bosman ruling. I remember, and you remember this because we were together growing up back then, when the Bosman ruling was out. You know, it wasn't like every day in the news, but we're buying magazines, and everybody who was benefiting now, everybody was insulting him like, oh, football that everybody's playing and everybody's enjoying. This one I wants to spoil it. But today, Bosman ruling is one of the best things that's ever happened to the game of football. A lot of people will not understand that. But when Bosman went to court, he didn't benefit anything from it. He became a bad person. He was ostracized. Nobody signed him. He retired. But the truth is, what he fought for has now benefited a lot of people. So Mbappe also, showing Paris Saint-Germain that they've been doing bad business. Paris Saint-Germain will learn from it. Mbappe benefit from it, and will also learn from whatever situation it is. I think it's a good one it's a win-win situation for both parties. Let's see what I mean. A lot of comments on Instagram. Whoa, official. I would say no. I think I need to get past that. There's one before that one, and that is Mr. Sugar One. He said it's not just in media here. I work in construction site. Everyone has his job. You can't and won't do another person's job. Yeah, because that's an establishment, a system that works. Let's not forget, let's also bring it back to Nigeria. I think that a lot of things that I've experienced in Lagos, I never experienced in Warri. I worked in Globestar. And so let me give you a very good example. I worked in Globestar, and in Globestar is an oil servicing firm. They're into the construction of oil rig, underwater stinger pipes, and the rest of them. So there is welder, there is filter, there is a scaffolder, there is sandblaster, there is a helper, there is the spray painters who work with the sandblasters and the rest of them. Now, the thing about it is, I have never seen anybody, I've not seen a helper, for instance, do the job of a scaffolder, even though the job, they look similar. A helper is just like a helping and a houseboy, right? But they focus on what they are supposed to do. Welders and filters do similar job. Even argon welders, regular welders, the pipe welders and the filters, they do similar work. But I've not seen anyone overlap each other, because that's an organized setup. Most of the reason why Nigerian, and it happens a lot in Lagos, it's a Lagos thing, and then it's bigger in the media, is that most companies in Lagos are privately owned companies, and the average Nigerian man is evil. Let's be very honest. You see those companies that I mentioned, Globestar, Nisco, Sedico, NMPC, Nigerian Dredging, Steelways, those companies were run with the principle of their foreign owners, and those principles are always adhered to. In Nigeria, when you have a Nigerian man, I remember I went to work in Escravos. I was taken to Escravos to do one thing. This is what my job is. I went there, I became a supervisor, I became a whole lot. When I came back, I was like, no, I can't. I'm not doing this job. People looked at me back then like I was stupid until my brother went to work in Escravos and he realized, oh, Bros was stupid. Because it has been thrown into the hands of black people. So sometimes Nigerians we'll talk about slavery, we'll talk about discrimination. Nobody discriminates like Nigerians. Nobody do slave work like Nigeria. Look at Nigeria, look at Lagos, for instance. Almost everybody working in the media are not allowed to be in a union. They're not allowed to form a cooperative. They're not allowed to, the Nigerian media, and I'll say this with no sense of apology. I'm not apologetic about it. The Nigerian media runs the highest slave system. And all of these people that you are out there respecting and worshiping, they are demons. Like, that's the truth. But it's hard to say it, because when you say it, it is small you against an established system. And then look at the radio station that is run by a Lebanese man. It's the best one in Nigeria, the Cool FM group. You understand? The Cool FM, Wazobia, they're the best group. Look at their staff. Look at how, it is easy for them to travel here and there. Look at the other ones, run like a slave camp. You understand? So it's a Nigerian thing. Nigerian people like to be worshipped. You close from work, and then it's in a system where you close for work, you finish your morning shift, and you are going home, and the boss is coming in, and everybody's panicking and going back to the office, and then they will sit down in that office till the boss close. But you are a morning shift person because they're afraid. And the only guy who is coming, hey, welcome, bye-bye, I'm gone. And people used to say that I'm rude, I don't have respect. But it's not about respect, it's about not doing eye service and not being afraid. But that made me a bad boy. Okay? So sometimes you have to understand that system you're working in is a system that has been set by the people who started it, the forebearers. Okay, I remember what happened with ITV when I was signing my contract in 2008 with ITV. I told them that I cannot do Sundays because I was doing live score on Sundays and Brilla for free. But guess what? They were paying 20,000 naira per game that I analyzed. On Sunday, you could do between 5 to 6 games. So we're doing Serie A, we're doing Premier League, and we're doing the Bundesliga. I think we're doing the Bundesliga then. So look at it carefully. You start from that early kickoff. You do the 11:30 to 1:30. You do the 3 to 5. You do the 5:30 to 7:30. Then you do the game that runs to 10 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm forfeiting that one for a radio station, right? That's not paying me at the time. But one day the radio station showed up. I said I'm not loyal to them. They forgot all that 4 years of me losing money heavily, money that I need for myself, money that I need for my family, my mom, my brothers, and everybody. But that's the way it works, okay? But yesterday I was talking to my friend in the US who's a nurse. She said she's going to work for training, and she's not even interested in going. But that she's going for that training. If she clocks in, she'll be paid over here. And I lie you. Our train, they will even tell you they're not happy that we're training you. You should be paying for the training. They should deduct it from your salary. That's the way it is over here. Mr. Sugar, when he said there are people who their job is to sit down at the gates. That's it. You must be there at the gate if by any chance the safety agency comes and you are not there, the company is in trouble. Yes, that's like in the normal setting. That's how Globestar used to be. That's Globestar for you. You know, Chuxi said, good morning, everybody. Good morning to you. What's the situation with Pesero's contract? Will you advise a renewal? Who would you pick to replace him? Local or expatriate? I'm not picking any replacement. I think they should renew his contract. I've spoken to Ibrahim Gusso. I've told him my piece, but my piece is not the reason why he would decide. He will have to take his decision on his own, and we would see at the end of the day. But my position is that renew. If you don't, first off, the World Cup qualifier is already very hard. You don't renew him now. Well, good as there's no domestic coach. I don't want to use the word local, but there's no domestic coach that can handle the Super Eagles and get a result. First off, this Super Eagles is the weakest team Nigeria has ever put at since 19 forever, right? Let's be very honest about that. And then again, these players are the richest group of players Nigeria has ever had. So it's two terrible things coming together. So two very, very terrible things coming together. Again, these players are the least ambitious players Nigeria has ever had in the history of Nigerian football. People don't like, my friends are in the team, but this is the truth. They don't like me saying these things. They hate it when I say this thing to them, but it's the truth. This team is the least ambitious team. This team is also not passionate about the national team at all. And then they also don't have ambition as individuals. So you're bringing a new coach. What is he going to do? People keep blaming. Nigerians should learn from. I mean, me and you, we had a lot of conversation around Genotro. I told you people everything that has happened after Genotro. I was here. I told you people that it's going to happen because I'm close. See, I play football. I coach. I manage. You can tell a player that's going somewhere by looking at the way they prepare in training. These players are not good. All this excuse of the grass is not good. Nigeria historically would ever get good grass? Would ever get good pitch? Would ever get good field? So it's not the grass, it's just the fact that we lack good footballers. We just have a bunch of players that will put together a national team to play football. We not sabi play ball. But we're not going to one player will play one good game and then we're going to magnify him for 10 weeks. I lie. They're not good. Players that would not even make first team in some good national team, we call them world-class players. We have only one good player. His name is Victor Osimhen, but he can't do everything. That's my own anyway. He said, what's your prediction for Nigerian clubs on the continent this weekend? I think the ones that are playing home will have advantage. It's sad, but I think Remo Stars and Bendel Insurance 1-0 win at home, going away to be hard. Remo Stars look like they can score more than a goal. They considered one goal away from home. I think they defended well. I think Enyimba can go through. I think Remo Stars can go through as well. But Bendel Insurance, unfortunately, I want them to go through, but it's looking like it's not going to happen. And Chuxi says, Elevator, please do a live shout out for Chooks Interior showing your studio. Please, no, I won't. You have to pay for it. I don't pay for the chair. What you give me? If I slap you. Mr. Sugar One, I beg, finally, what happened to ITV? Politics happened to ITV, you know. It was politics. People say, I've heard people say a lot of things, but it was politics. It was the Obasanjo versus Tinubu battle that happened, and ITV became TVC. So it was politics and a whole lot of other things. I thought, Siko, why are you for me? Why is Siko acting? Why is this idiot acting? See, more you go. Fat Aquaman. Close my door. Leave this place. Only sweet. All right, so that's what happened. It was not meant to be, but I mean, it was one of the best companies that Nigeria would have been very, very proud because all the plans, all this we're talking about Nigerian League would have settled it very well. But hey, politics is politics. Politics can destroy. Good intention is not always enough. You have to have all of the backings and all of the structures that guide you. Nigeria, I've always said that Nigeria, the problem with us is more of policies than any other thing. A lot of people have good intentions. A lot of people want to do good things, but the politics and the policies here are interregnum. They work against us instead of working in favor of us. Having said that, European man answered the Louis Hall question. First, he said, bros, how do you see that Doku Graphic for SSA with Citizen? So some of you don't know this thing that my brother just said. Now, Doku is the guy. I told you the story before that once upon a time, back in the 80s, we were thrown out of house. We were homeless, right? The landlord was Doku, and that Doku happens to be my mother's uncle. But we're owing 6 months rent. 6 months rent was 300 naira, 15 naira per month was 300 naira, and they throw us out. The throw us out is not the problem. I can always say that is his house. He has a right to do that. But his children, Monday, Sunday, and the rest, they were just stealing our things. You know, it's crazy. They were stealing our things in broad daylight like this. They was telling my mom was pregnant at the time. And so Doku is his name. And my brother is asking, what do I think of it? I think for City, if you can't play and do well at City, you practically are not good enough because the system help you. Look at Grealish. Grealish is as average as they come. Even till today, leave and make it the West Source. They play with Ashingard is as average as they come. But playing in the City side, and if Pep is willing to give you playing time, you will be good. Now, he's got something that Pep needs. This squad is lacking speed now. But I want to see him, his crosses, his passing, because Pep team requires you to play at a certain level of surgical precision that not every team, require from you. So that, for me, is what is missing, what I want to see. So I need to watch him in a couple of games. I'm not going to jump up. I've not seen him play where he's played before, and I didn't even bother go watch the highlight because sometimes you just get tired of spending data on all these people. Jose Gallo, how are you doing? Good to see you here. So I just want to wait and see, but I know that I've read about his speed, his close control, which is good, but that's what they said about Nicolas Pepe. Until he came to play for Arsenal, I know that I'm witchcraft to be. So I'm going to fold my fingers, fold my hands and watch and see. European man, I say Lewis Hall, say he won't go a boyhood club. There's nothing Chelsea could do, especially as in the run out of contract. Beside a loan deal plus obligation to buy for 35 million for academic graduate. Good is an understatement, a great deal as far as I'm concerned. Aaron Torrego, thank you for the other day once again. I keep appreciating those who support this project. It's not easy. Same for Uze Igalo. Thank you very much for your support. Now, Aaron Torrego say we are yet to recover from Toby's showing yesterday. We were hopeful that she was going to get us a medal. I can't still believe what happened. Hey, it is what it is. Sometimes it just happens. You don't know what's going on in her mind. You don't know what people have said to her leading to the game, the heat. It's just this just happened. This just happened. There's something I always say to people: don't support people only when they are successful. Support them also when they fail, because that's when they need it the most. If I'm winning and you're supporting me, I really don't need the support. The time I need the support, I was telling the guy yesterday that the time is gonna come when I would have like 1 million views or subscribers, like on a weekly basis, 1 million views, and people will say, "Hey, that I've changed." No, I've not changed. I'm going to stick with those guys who were with me when we were struggling, like now. Who would call me, guy, send me your account number, let's buy for you, let's buy your data. I'm going to stick with that. They'll be my inner circle. The other people will not feel like, oh, it have a showing off. No, I'm not showing off. The thing is, those guys build you, and that's what support really is. Support is needed when people are struggling. Anybody can be supported when they are winning. Anybody can be healed, can be loved and pushed when they're. Yeah, when they are winning. But hey, when I'm struggling, when things are not going well for me, that's when I really need the support. That's when I really need you to push me, okay? And when you can't push me when I'm down, when you can't put your hand around my shoulder and say, okay, don't worry, yeah, you fail now, but I trust you. I know you're good enough. You can do it again. Then I don't think when I succeed next time, I can roll with you. So if there's any time that she needs encouragement on her Instagram DM, on her page right now, this is the time. That's just the way I see it anyway. But you guys might also see it differently. It's not a force that everything must have to go the way I see it. Choose about justice, simply. So let's recommend this channel to others by sharing and liking for more people to be here. Thank you very much. That got me very emotional. Thank you very much. Choose about justice to say, I want to see 1 million subscribers in the next 6 months, my brother. I say amen to that too. If I get 1 million subscribers, first off, I'll be able, with 1 million subscribers, I'll be able to do collaboration with people like Fabrizio Romano, be able to do collaboration with people like AFTV, be able to do collaboration, be able to interview people like Arsene Wenger. I mean, 1 million subscribers, I can demand to interview Pep Guardiola, and it will be good. It will work. I have an interview with Infantino that is hanging in the air until I get 500,000 subscribers. Mosepe, the CAF president, until I get maybe 250,000 subscribers. So I'm really working on that. Numbers going up. I don't know. I've done everything that I know how to do. But like Chizoba just said, recommend it. I mean, we're not going to, like people have suggested, put some sexy girls, put some big breasts and big yash. I no go do one. Now football, I come here, can't talk. I no go do one. They did not go come. I will not be tempted to do it. That's just the truth. And let's not forget that today, this evening by 5 p.m. Around the MPFL, the 5th episode will be out, and that episode have Abdul Makaiba. I think I recommend it. It's something you should watch, and we're premiering it. So 5 minutes to 5, the premiere, the whole stuff will start. Just prepare yourself to watch. The story is beautiful. We're telling coach stories of our coaches and players in the MPFL. It's our own, effort to promote the league, to put the league in the minds and hearts of people. I think that you guys should be on it from 4:45 Nigerian time. It's just a 22 minutes video. It's not really that long. You guys should come along. If you go to our videos now, just click on notify me so that when the time comes, you'll be notified for it when it starts. It's something that we should all watch together. Drop a comment and, try to get everybody involved. Well, Emmanuel Irokiri said, bro, so footballers no to get years for Europe again. Saudi Arabia, the corner. I agree with you on that one. Irokiri Emmanuel wanted to say, bros, Chevron get 10 acts of operations. One in particular says, always involve the right persons in decisions. I agree with you. That affects procedures and equipment. But for Nigeria, they will carry Agbero, go make decision. I like that. I like that. Okay. But let me just ask you this. When I came back and I said I wasn't going back then, I mean, as my brother, I'm looking at family, what were you thinking in your head? Forget now that you've gone to work in that same environment and you don't know. But that time, what was running in your head? Like you thought maybe some girls were worried on Jasmine Abi or something was going on in my head, right? Because especially when I didn't even have a job that I was going back to. Europe might say the whole of Nigeria, not just the sports sector, that they fall victim to this the sports media, and I was past. I'm lucky to have worked both in sports, in OFMs, in different environments. I'm lucky to have had that experience, so I could stretch it and tell you from my own personal experience that I've seen. No, Globestar was a fantastic place, but if you look at the terms of work, the way people work in Globestar, and you compare it to any place that I've seen in Lagos, like they're suffering. This is slavery. That's why sometimes I tell people that certain things that they say is work in Nigeria, in this Lagos, I'm not gonna feed one. If I work there like 2 or 3 months, we'll fight. Because I'm so used to structured working. I grew up working in structured environment that it is hard. The worst place I ever worked was my long time in radio. It's a long 13 years. The worst place when somebody tells you you can't use the company internet to do company work. Man, that's crazy. But let's jump into the final part of the show before I pack my bags and baggages and go. I still have 14 more minutes to the end of the show. Let's talk about prediction of games today. Friday games prediction: Chelsea versus Luton Town. Come on, if Chelsea doesn't win this one, the question is, do they deserve to be in the Premier League? I don't. There is no special reward for Chelsea winning this one. This is a game that we would say, first off, Luton Town is destined to go down unless miracle of grandiose proportion happens, right? They came into the Premiership, but they're not ready for the Premier League. But Chelsea should watch it. St. Luton's game, the first game, they lost the game, but you could tell that they have big players. They are very good crossers of the ball. So many players of this Luton team, if they don't drop their shoulders, if they don't lose, they don't faint, they will take the scalp of some big team. Now, in games like this, coming to Stamford Bridge, these are the games that underdog teams are made of. Let's go there and make a name for ourselves. Let's go there and make a record and show that we are able to beat one of these big teams. That's something they would want to do. So going to Stamford Bridge tonight, they would try all they can. But I'm going to put up my money. Like I said, until we get to game week 5, people should not be doing accumulator, especially if you're betting online. Just put your bet together and just be growing your money small, because there's going to be time where you cannot put 5 games accumulator together, 10 games accumulator together and win big. But one of the rules I like to give to people when they are betting is, do not be the guy who is always putting money in your bet account every week. Okay, so start the season with, I want to put in 100,000 if you have it. In this balable economy, it's hard anyway to have 100,000 and put in bet, or say 10,000. That one, anybody can have that one. So when you put your 10,000, you start with single games. So a game like this, Chelsea to win and over 2.5 would give you some good odds. If you put 2,000 to it just increase the money a little bit. It's not a big deal. It's not the kind of money that, you don't win, you don't cash out. No, it's a comfortable win. And then you go to France, there is Nantes versus Monaco. I can't pick who would win this one because Nantes can be a very troublesome team. And at home, they are unplayable. Monaco, again, very unpredictable. Just when you think that they have found their form, they will be rubbish. So in this game, I'm going to say over 1.5 is the closest, is the best thing I can say. RB Leipzig in Germany playing tonight against Stuttgart, VfB Stuttgart. I would beat my chest to say RB Leipzig would win. A combo of RB Leipzig to win and over 1.5 is good, but RB Leipzig is like Atalanta and Napoli in Italy. They are the experts in over 2.5. So you can also take a gamble, but it's a risky one because Stuttgart are also a solid defensive team. So, but I would go with RB Leipzig to win and over 1.5. That's safe bet. But again, RB Leipzig to win and over 2.5 is a risky bet. So let me go over these games again before I go to Spain. Chelsea, Luton Town. Safe bet is Chelsea to win and over 1.5. Chelsea to win and over 2.5 is risky bet. Nantes, Monaco, there is no risky bet on this one. It's just over 1.5. Let's keep it there. Whatever happened thereafter, no problem. But I can't pick who will win or who will not win. RB Leipzig, Stuttgart. I think I'll go with RB Leipzig to win this one. Over 1.5, that's a safe bet. Over 2.5 is a risky bet, but it's still possible. So you do a combo on that one, you get it going. And then let's go to Spain and see the games that we've got there. We've got 10 more minutes to the end of the show. I'm not sure I'm going to use the whole 10 minutes. Las Palmas playing against Real Sociedad. The Spanish La Liga, every team is still in their struggling state. This is a bit tight as well, like the Nantes versus Monaco game. So I'm going to go with over 1.5 with this one. Anything can happen. Another game, which is a potential banana peel for the intending title contender, Real Madrid, is going to Celta Vigo to play against Celta Vigo. I think that Real Madrid have also shown that they want to take the game pretty early, start very well, lead the pack, and then watch the others that are chasing them. So I'm going to go with Real Madrid to win this one. Safe bet is a combo of Real Madrid to win and over 1.5. Risky bet is Real Madrid to win and over 2.5. That's the way that one is. And there's a lot of continental games. The African Champions League qualification. Bumamuru of Burundi is playing against. Is it Burundi or Burkina Faso now? Is playing against Central Sportif Benji of Gabon. I don't know much about them to be able to give you prediction on that one. Elmerick of Sudan playing against Otowo of Oyo of Congo. I don't know what they have in stock, but I think Elmerick is good enough to win this one. I saw the highlights of their game, and I think they are good enough to win this one. They're playing at home as well, and it's going to come out pretty early. First game is 1 o'clock, the other one is 2 o'clock. And then the other one, the Niger team, I don't know what they can do. And the team from Burkina Faso, I also don't know what they can do. But Orlando Pirates of South Africa are playing against Jabel of Comoros, sorry. I don't know what Jabel will have to offer, but playing in South Africa will be difficult for them 6:30 tonight. So I think that the South African team, Orlando Pirates, will win unless there's a strong upset. That one you can pick it as another 1.5 Orlando Pirates to win if it's in your bet. Whatever bet company you're using for your bet prediction. Well, that's what the story and my predecessor at that time. You knew say Escravos not the ultimate for boys eye for worry that time. Yes, I agree with you. Say if Chelsea no win Luton today, them no need sack Poch. Make them arrest them. Why are you full of violence? This little brother of mine, that this person they call little brother now, Papa have 4 children. When I know they will call a little boy now. Why are you full of violence like this? Be calming down. Be calming down. And my little son, I go say that to breathe. Calm down. Don't be angry. Calm down. I made a mistake. Don't shout at me. I made a mistake. I made a mess. You have to clean it up. Oh God, children of these days. I just love the privileges that they have. Well, this is where we draw the curtain on the show. I think we've had a good show today. I think so. Mr. Sugar, I'm sure while you're working in the UK, you like the prediction that I've given, and I think it's okay. So let's wrap and go out there. And I hope that you guys find favor and be happy over the course of the weekend. Let's do this again on Monday. Until then, if you've not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do well to subscribe. And in the evening by 5, let's watch the premiere of Around the MPFL episode, season 1, episode 5, with the story of Abdul Maikaba on there. And for those of you asking me when the Jonathan Kwabore video will come out, we're working on it. Let's take this thing step by step. We're still looking for subscribers to grow. Not every content we'll put out immediately. We're still working. We'll see what we'll do thereafter. But thank you very much. My name once again is Ada Fimache. So you love to come in with on the sponsor. I've had fun today. I don't know about you. If you've not had fun, I can't say sorry for something that I'm not sure I'm the one that did it. But if it will make you happy, I am sorry about that. All right. Have a wonderful day and be the very, very best version of who you are created to be. Like I always say, if you're not making the solution, please do not disturb those who are creating solution. If you can't create, support those who are already creating. God bless you and have yourself a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
My name is Frank Idemudia Alapa. That's my name. Talking sports is my game, and I am the greatest. I love listening to Elegbetter TV.